much for watching Vanya's Vegan Voyage, which is a channel that deals with all things vegan, food, fitness, travel, and beauty. In today's video, I am going to tell you a little travel story. So I want to share with you a very interesting adventure that happened to me on my recent trip to Egypt. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, let me set up the scene for you. So traveling to Egypt has been one of my dreams since I was a little girl. I remember I would visit my aunt, and she had these beautiful Egyptian artifacts hanging in the hallway in her house, and I would just stare at those artifacts in the hallway for a very long time as a little kid, maybe 4 or 5 years old, and just dreaming how one day I will get to go to Egypt. So I have been planning to go to Egypt for years and years and years, and something always happens. It's obviously been my dream since I could remember my memories. And it has always been in the back of my mind, so I have been planning it and planning it. And one of the most significant times when I was this close to going, I actually wanted to book a tour with a particular company, and just as I was booking it, they ran out of room. So instead of Egypt, I ended up going to India, and it is a very good thing that I did, because during that time while I was gone in India, the revolution in Cairo happened. So I would have actually been there during the revolution, which is not such a pleasant spot to be as anybody, especially as a foreigner. So somehow I ended up kind of getting lucky and not being caught up in all of that. So you know, fast forward a few years, Egypt has calmed down, and it's not such a dangerous and volatile place like it was at that time. And I figured, okay, so finally now it's time for me to go. So finally this dream is going to come true. And seeing pyramids has been something that I have fantasized about forever, because to me pyramids are just something so magical. I have seen so many documentaries about them, so many Discovery shows, National Geographic, all of that stuff. I have become obsessed with all things Egyptian. Even as a little girl, I was reading books about Egypt gods, and when I was little, I pretty much knew every god for everything in Egypt. I could name them all, and I could tell you who was related to whom and what fashion and everything. I was a little nerd back then. I wish I remembered all of that stuff. So anyways, fast forward to a few months ago, and I have a friend who has been traveling around the world for the last year. And he kind of sent me a list of all the countries that he wanted to hit before coming back to the States. And on the list was Egypt and Jordan. And I was like, oh my God, yes. Finally, somebody that I can go visit this beautiful, amazing country, and I can feel safe because it is a guy. So we planned the trip, and let me tell you, for all of you girls who are avid travelers, Egypt is probably not one of those places where you would want to go by yourself as a girl. Not that it's unsafe, but it is unsafe, if that makes sense. It's a very conservative country, so you have to cover up. You know, the head cover is not necessarily necessary, but I would really recommend it, especially if you're blonde. So I've come to learn that the hard way. I really attracted attention, even though I completely covered my legs and my arms and everything. But yeah, you definitely want to go covered up, and you definitely want to go with a male friend, or at least hire a male tour guide. That would be tremendously helpful. So as you guys know or might not know, I am a little obsessed with modeling and taking pictures in exotic locations. So when I ended up going to Cairo, I decided to hire a professional photographer, a local professional photographer. And a very important thing to know, if you want to take pictures at any Egyptian historical monuments such as pyramids, you have to pay for a permit. So it's not something that you can just show up with your camera and point and shoot. As a regular tourist, yes, but because you know, he carried a professional camera, we had guys carrying lights, we attracted a little attention, and for that you definitely need to have a permit. So my photographer did that, and I was like, all right, so we're set. And we also paid for a local guard who worked at the pyramids. So we go in there and we are, taking pictures. The local guard is with us. So we were taking pictures with the Great Pyramid. We went down to the Sphinx and it was amazing. A little side note, if you guys ever visit pyramids, you're going to be just really, really appalled by the animal treatment that happens over there. So they have all these horse carriages and camels and donkeys and these stupid tourists just come and plop their big booties on these tiny little carts, and these poor horses are forced to go up these really, really steep inclines and then down. So I don't even know which way is worse, to be honest. All day long in this excruciating Egyptian heat, and you can see them foaming at their mouth, profusely sweating. And the worst thing is you can actually see from the chains on the side, you can see flesh showing through the skin. It just broke my heart. I couldn't hold it in, so I actually told a few tourists that were in those back of those carriages, I'm like, I hope you're happy with yourself for contributing to animal abuse. It's horrible. And then later, side note, later I somehow ended up going on a taxi ride. It was this little tuk-tuk looking thing down what they call the horse street, which is where all the horses who work at the pyramids and other animals like camels and donkeys are housed. And you would think that at least at night they would have, some nice hay to sleep on or something, but no. If they're just sleeping on a concrete sidewalk on the street and just tied super tightly so they cannot even really, a lot of them, they cannot even lay down. I'm just really, my heart still breaks for those poor animals. And I wish I could just buy a whole bag of carrots and take it around and feed it to all those poor horses. So please, if you go there, do not contribute to that animal abuse because it was horrific. All right, back to my story. So we were at the Sphinx and we went down from the Great Pyramid down to the Sphinx taking some pictures. We were attracting attention because, hello, blonde. Then we went a little bit back up and we were taking some pictures on these ruins on the side of the pyramid. And then I see this guy walk over towards my photographer and he's flailing his arms and he's like doing all of this, and I was far away so I couldn't really understand what was going on, even though it wouldn't make any difference even if I was closer because it's not like I speak Arabic. So to me, Arabic is a very harsh sounding language, kind of like German. So you can say the nicest thing in those languages, but it sounds very like rough. So, Arabic, and then in addition to that, you increase the volume and you add the arms, and it was very scary. And then I see the guy grab the camera from my photographer's hands and he starts going through the pictures, and I was like, oh my God, he's gonna delete everything, all the stuff that we took so far, because we did a whole day of shooting. We did the entire day all over Cairo, and pyramids were just one of the stops. So I was like, oh my God, he's gonna delete everything that we did so far. And I come down from the little rock that I was standing on, and my photographer was like, yeah, we need to leave. And I wasn't asking any questions because it was a very, very tense situation. So later I asked my photographer, I said, what the heck just happened? Why was he upset? So what had happened was, there is such a thing in Egypt as morality police. This is not made up, this is true story. They have morality police who go around and make sure that people are not doing immoral things. So apparently I have attracted attention in my outfit, and according to him, I was inappropriately dressed. Even though my outfit is the traditional Egyptian galabaya, which is a dance outfit, which you can see right there. So that's the outfit. So that's the outfit that I was wearing. And I thought I was perfectly fine because I was completely covered, even had long sleeves, and the dress went all the way down. But apparently you could see the silhouette of my body, and that was unacceptable. So I now have a story, adventure, my travel adventure, where I literally got kicked out of the pyramids for being too slutty, even though I didn't know I was slutty. So there you go, you guys. So then what we did is to save the day, we went around the pyramids behind in the desert, which was a cool little thing because I honestly think only locals know about this, because it didn't seem like it was a very populated area by the tourists, because it was back in the sand in the actual desert. And we kind of raced against the time because we wanted to catch the sunset, and we caught some beautiful pictures, as you can see here. So I think it was worth it. Actually, at the end, I'm kind of glad that I did get kicked out of the pyramids, because then we went around in the back of the pyramids and got even cooler shots. So I would definitely suggest, if you guys are visiting Cairo, really commemorate that beautiful moment in your life with professional pictures. If you can at all, get a professional photographer, because you're not gonna be sorry. Just make sure that you do all the things that are required, such as paying for the permit, getting a local Egyptian photographer to take your pictures, and don't be slutty like I was. Really cover up and make sure that you wear something culturally appropriate that's not going to attract attention to you. So I have a lot of stories like this because I tend to travel a lot. So I think at this point this year I'm going to be at my 50th country, which is amazing. I would love to be able to say that I have visited all the countries in the world, but I'm really far away from that. I am still missing one continent. I'm still missing Antarctica, but I've been to every other continent, so I'm excited about that. So this has been my Great Pyramid adventure story that I just had to share with you guys. The rest of Egypt was absolutely spectacular as well. I got to go to Alexandria. I got to do the Great Nile cruise. So we went from Luxor all the way to Aswan and saw all the beautiful sights along the way. I got to buy some stuff from boat pirates, where there are these people who attach themselves in little boats, and they attach themselves to the cruise ship, and then they throw things up and sell it to you that way. So a lot of adventure. We got to see multiple different temples, learn about the history. Egyptian history is just so rich and unbelievably amazing. So when you get to go underneath the pyramids and the catacombs and see where all the bodies were preserved, where all the mummies were. Also, the Valley of the Kings was just absolutely phenomenal. The King Tut tomb, my God, that was just things made of dreams. So to summarize, yes, go to Egypt. It is freaking fantastic, but be smart about it. As a girl, don't go by yourself. Don't go with another girlfriend. Go with a guy, because that's definitely going to come in handy for sure. Dress appropriately. Don't be a slut like I was. And don't do anything stupid that would be outside of the cultural norms that would attract attention to you. So just be always very aware of your surroundings. And not just Cairo, Egypt has so much to offer. So definitely go check out Alexandria and see the non-existent lighthouse. But there's still a citadel there that you can go check out. And then of course the catacombs. I mean, how could you miss the catacombs? Go take a cruise down the Nile River and see the beautiful, rich, fertile Nile area. So take it from either Luxor to Aswan or Aswan to Luxor, and it's going to be absolutely spectacular. Explore the culture, eat the local food, vegan of course. And please, everywhere you go there's horse carriages and donkeys and camels. Please don't partake in that, because when we give money for something like that, that means that we're sending them a signal that what they're doing is okay, and it's just going to perpetuate it indefinitely. So your dollar speaks volumes, and make sure that you're sending the right message with that. Spend money on good things, you know, buy things from locals and eat at local restaurants, but do not support animal abuse with your money. So yay, I hope you guys enjoyed my story. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you would like me to go into any more details about any other part of this trip. On this trip, I also got to visit Jordan as well, and Jordan was amazing. I did a few videos on my journey to Petra and Wadi Rum and the Dead Sea. So drop me a line in a comment box below if you have any questions on any of those, and let me know if you have visited, what have been your experiences. I want to know if I was an anomaly or kind of like the common thing. And let me know what else you would like me to cover for you in an upcoming video. I really hope you guys found this story amusing, because now I'm laughing. Back then it was not so funny. Alright you guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see all of you soon in my next video. And until then, stay strong on your vegan voyage. Love you mucho. Bye.